Hi, everybody, and welcome to Chats con Sabor. I'm here with my co hosts, Linda and Yvette.
Hello.
Hi.
And today's hot topic is going to be social media pages that expose men.
Ooh.
Juicy!
Juicy. Okay, let's jump right into it,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
So these different social media pages we have found that they are in different, not countries, well, probably maybe countries too, I don't know, but in different cities around the United States, where these women join and they post, like stuff about these guys that they're finding on online dating apps and stuff. Have you guys ever heard of these pages, these social media pages?
I have learned of a few.
Yeah. And I wonder if they have them like with women too, right?
Right.
I don't know.
Well, it's more to me, they're more like warning pages, like don't
Yeah.
date this guy, right?
Yeah.
Although I will say this, there is also pages where it's like date my friend.
Oh yeah, we've seen those too.
Yeah.
I've
where
seen
they
the
make-
ads to that.
where
Yeah,
they
like
do
date him,
posts, yeah.
like and they'll put good things.
Yeah.
But anywho, yes, it's like a warning, and some of the stuff that you find in there is kind of crazy.
So are these pages though, are they, like you said, a warning? Is it mostly like negative stuff? Or do they actually post, hey, he's a really nice guy, or hey, I know that person, or whatever?
No,
Is it all like mostly red flags, no green
it's
flags?
most no. Well, here's the thing: there's women that, for example, they met somebody at the bar or through a dating app, and then they'll post a picture and say, "Hey, do you have any tea? Any information on this person? Because I'm about to go on a date. We've been talking for a couple of days." And then sometimes there's women that they'll go, "Oh, that's my friend," or I know him through somebody else. He seems decent.
Right.
Go for it. And then there's women that will jump in and say, "No, don't do it." And then they throw all the dirty laundry out there of experiences they've had with this person.
Yeah.
But there's also the women that get hurt that are also posting this men, which
yeah.
I feel like sometimes could be misleading because
Right.
it could just be somebody that is heartbroken and just
Yeah.
trying to, they don't want anybody with their men.
Yeah.
And we know
Yeah.
the
ruining-
obsessive ones like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you almost have to like weave through the comment section to see what's happening here.
Yeah.
Is this like a jealousy thing or are there true facts? But I will say this, I've seen people where they're like, "Hey, be aware, I was with this person and now I have an STD." And you're like, "What?" You're like, "Oh my gosh,"
Damn.
Now that's tea.
Yeah. That's dirty laundry.
But I've also seen in also bad where they post like the mugshot of people, domestic violence or things like that. So I think it's good, but it also gets with the jealousy and the friendships. That's the one that really gets sloppy. Is sometimes you'll have women say, "Hey, this happened to me," or "This is my story," and then they'll be like, "There's no way. This person's my friend, and he will never do that." And he da 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 da. And it's like, okay, let's be honest. People are, as a friend,
They're different.
they're
very
different,
different, yeah.
than as a relationship, as a intimate partner. It's not the same. And anywho, so it creates a little bit of drama within the page. But I think overall it's pretty. It's
good. If anything, to be scrolling at night, like, ooh.
it's pretty entertaining.
I
I'm not
bet.
gonna lie, especially when you're invested and you're looking at it on a regular basis, and then they'll post somebody that you just saw like 2 days ago, and you're like, "Oh, come on, they just posted him," like, why? It's like that's all new. We know he's garbage.
That's
like
old news, yeah.
he gets posted at least once a week.
Oh, that's
Serial
bad.
serial
Serial
daters.
daters,
Oh
yeah.
my God. Were you ever afraid, like when you were doing online dating, that you were gonna, or do you wish that you knew about these pages, like these social media
Yeah,
pages?
I wish I
back
knew a
then?
little bit more because that would have helped.
Stay away from.
Yeah,
some of the,
certain people.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, crazy. Real quick, there was I think we talked about this on season 1 episode. But it was a date with a gentleman that I actually really, really enjoyed talking to. Got to know him, well, I thought fairly well. And then I ended up going out on a date with him. And Linda went with me to the restaurant slash bar where I was going to meet him. And we were, she was kind of my wing woman for a little bit. And then she was supposed to go after he showed up. But then she ended up staying because we were having such a good time.
Wait, but didn't you come too?
Yeah, we ended
Well,
up.
then, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, well, then Joe and her significant other ended up showing up too, because everybody was like, for some reason, everybody was kind of like on alert for this one. They didn't want me to be out there by myself for this one, but
let me tell the angels were looking over you, girl.
yeah, seriously, because we found out some stuff after that and Googling, and it wasn't on these pages, but I started Googling.
Yeah, because we didn't have access yet.
We didn't, we weren't on any of these social media pages. And so we started Googling him. Obviously, he had a past, but for me, it was more about why weren't you up front? Of course, he had an explanation, but it was just the lying and the deception that I couldn't get past, which is too bad because he was actually a really, really decent man. Again, from what I knew, how he presented himself.
Correct. And I was going to say that. I mean, that was the only time you met him, right?
Right, in person.
In person.
Yeah. But like I said, I had already been talking to him and even had conversations and stuff. Yeah.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
We had a good time. We were all, we enjoyed his company is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
If it wasn't because of this truth that we found out, you could have gone to many other dates with him.
Right.
Is what I'm trying to say. Because the vibe, it felt right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying though. That's like, sometimes everybody has a past, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but sometimes you wish you had like more information before you put yourself out there like that, So it's, I don't know.
It's almost like a lens, right? It's like, again, the experience we had with him, we thought he was a cool dude. Yeah. But then since we found the news out, like we couldn't see him any other way.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. But even your significant other liked him too.
Mm-hmm. He's pretty cool.
A cool dude. Oh well.
There goes that.
Okay, so do you think that social media and online dating, do you think that actually has been a detriment to dating?
I think so. I think there's different levels, I guess, or perspective that I can go about this, but just the expectation level of it, right? Like everything that is put on social, exposed in social media or just placed out there, how the date should look like, or how your relationship should look like, or every relationship is different. Every date is different. Every person you meet is different. It's never cookie cutter. And it's definitely almost like creating like a narrative that we're expecting.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't necessarily have to look that way, and think about it, how weird, how different it is compared to how it used to be.
Yeah.
Dating.
Instead of winking at somebody from across the, way.
Yeah, you're sending a little emoji. It's almost like the whole thing, like you write LOL, but you're not really, like you're not really LOLing,
Yeah.
It's very similar, it's not the same type of connection or
it's lost. It's not organic anymore.
Yeah.
Not just that, but I feel like there's not, the place doesn't exist anymore unless you go to the city, the town that has the little bar where the dive bar, whatever, everybody's going to have that one Friday night going out. And even myself being a Miami person, right, if I take out the clubs out of the picture, where are we going to meet people? Like, it's back in the day, we were outside.
Mm-hmm.
There were the things to do, and now we're stuck on.
I'll tell you what, back in the day, we didn't know 1,000 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now we're friends with so many people. It's like we knew, I don't know, 20. You know what I'm saying?
Question for you ladies.
Yeah.
And you guys can give me your perspective. You're not a male, but we have friends, whatever, right? Nowadays, a guy can be talking to 10 different girls through social media.
Right.
5 on Facebook, 3 on Instagram, 2 on Snapchat,
Mm-hmm.
They don't even have to know each other. They could just friended each other through social media.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, could a man be talking to 10 women? They didn't.
No, because they'd find out. And also, they didn't have the
cell phones. You had a beeper.
Yeah.
There was no cell phones. There
You
was no
couldn't.
beeper.
Like,
How
there
can
was
you
no
talk to
way,
10
yeah.
girls? You could talk to 2,
Yeah.
maybe 3, but not 10.
I would say it depends on their social
Abilities.
on the social
abilities.
elements. If they had a vehicle that they can get back and forth
A
on.
good point. Good
Yeah.
point.
Because I had friends that were talking to like 4 different women at the same time.
That's
So
a lot
that
of
takes
energy.
a lot of
Like-
work.
Oh, yeah.
You don't do it.
And then they would come up
Ow.
to me and they're like, "Oh, this is so and so," and I was like, "Oh,
Otra.
You're like, wait, what
But-
happened to?
yeah." I would get in the corner and be like, "But what happened to so and so?" "Oh no, I'm still talking to her."
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Oh, no.
I said, "Okay."
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Then
huh?
the next party, no, and then you know what would happen is, then the next party, one of them would show up and he would be with another girl, and then it would just, "Let's get ready to rumble," dun, dun,
my
dun, dun,
gosh,
dun, dun,
yeah.
dun, 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 and they would just start going at it,
Cat fight.
because
Yeah.
of him.
Mm-hmm. And he'd just be sitting back saying like,
Isn't it crazy?
It's
I will
wild.
say this. I am proud of the women evolution, although I know there's still a little crazies out there. But I feel like I'm proud of the women evolution of we stopped fighting with each other over a cheating man, and we started just blaming the guy. I will say I'm proud of the women
I've always been that way, though.
evolution of that.
I've-
I feel like in the 80s, in the 90s, I don't know before then. I'm just gonna talk about what I can see as far as my young age, right? I feel like women used to fight for their men.
Mhm.
That's my guy. Even myself as a teenager, I remember at church, my best friend's mom, she had her husband, but she was always fighting for him. He was cheating, he was this, but she was always trying to like bring him back home,
Force
Yeah.
him
you
to
know,
be
like
with
I'm
her,
your wife, I'm your
basically.
girl,
Yeah.
like, and they went through a lot together. They lost a kid, like, so I felt like she was like, dude, we've gone through so much together, like, what do you keep chasing out there? And as a teenager, I'm like, girl, come on, he don't love you, like, that's not
Yeah.
love,
Yeah.
But again, I feel like as women, I've seen it anyways, progress in that way, where nowadays I feel like we've taken our identity and stopped fighting as much with each other as women, and we
Yeah.
have actually put the blame where it should be, I guess.
Yeah. A lot of girls hated me in high school. Oh my God. So many girls. Because they thought that I wanted their man. And they were really just angry because their man or their boy, whatever. They were boys or were men. They liked me, and I'm just like, I never even looked at any guys in high school.
Like, and,
Not in my,
and,
in
and
my
let me
school.
clarify, if you find girl is messing with your guy and she's on purposely doing and you want to punch her, go for it. I'm not punch a bitch, okay? Do it. But all I'm saying,
We're not promoting violence, okay?
just a little bit. But in general, you know what I'm saying? All I'm trying to say, we stop blaming other women and
Yeah.
come on, man.
I think it's easier now for guys to do it. It was a little harder back then for them to do
Yeah.
it, but it was being done.
Yeah, for sure. But that's what I'm trying to say. I feel like now they have doubled the amount. They've doubled the bodies, like kids say nowadays.
Yeah.
I think
Body
Snapchat
Body count.
is super deadly because you can get away with a lot on
Mhm.
Snapchat.
Oh, yeah.
So
Telling you, I don't fuck around with Snapchat anymore. I just use my one filter. And that is it. But you had a story for us regarding that social media and dating online, and has it ruined dating in real life?
yeah, so I was watching a reel with he was on TikTok, Mr. Big, Mr. Bear. Sorry, not
Oh,
Mr.
like
Big.
Mr. Big, like
Mr.
Sex and the
Bear.
City?
Woo!
And he actually brought up a really good question, which we kind of discussed right now, is social media ruining relationships?
Mhm.
Because things are no longer happening organically.
Right.
Like we're not having these block parties. We're not having family get-togethers. We're not having
Mhm.
any of that stuff where people would just bring in people, and you guys would just meet, and it would be something that would just naturally happen. And he's like, I think he feels as though social media has taken all that connection away from people, like being able to socialize and just have a natural connection. I mean, I had a natural connection with my partner. I didn't meet him online, but I did a lot of online dating
before
him.
And
So
you did date a couple of guys before him, before
online,
you met your current partner.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of on the fence here about it, because on the one hand, social media and online dating and all that stuff, it allows you, it gives you, it's like a tool that you can use to meet people that you wouldn't necessarily meet, because like me, for instance, I never leave my apartment.
Very true.
Never leave my apartment.
Unless she's with us.
Exactly. So then how am I going to meet somebody organically? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then it's a tool that people can use, but then at the same time, it's so much easier because you're behind a keyboard, you know what I mean? And it's so much easier for you to lie about who you are. Not to say that you can't lie in person about who you are. Like, they can still feed you a story about whatever, but it's just a little bit harder because what you see is what you get, right? Like you're there, like in person. So I don't know. I'm kind of
not just that, but if somebody talks to you, right, like by their body language, you can tell they're lying to you, or possibly you can take some cues from,
right.
You're reading a message, that's what you're getting. It's the words. There's no way for you to identify if they're lying to you, if it's genuine, if they said it with emotion, there's so much that you lose.
Yeah, I think social media is a great tool. It's just people are not using it like they should. It's almost like a lie factor for a lot of people.
Yeah.
They're creating this persona of someone that they're not. And I think that's where it gets difficult.
Yeah.
And you don't see the real person until like 3 months later.
There was a show, which I think it might even still be on MTV. It's called Catfish. I used to watch that show all the time, and I used to be like, "Y estas pendejas!" Like, how do you fall for that shit? You know what? Honestly, if you're lacking connection and you're really looking for that, I feel like it's actually kind of easy to believe some words that somebody types out, whether they mean it or not. You know what I mean? Like it's fairly easy, especially if that person receiving, like I said, is kind of in a state of, I don't have anybody. I'm lonely, depressed, whatever it is.
Thirsty.
Or thirsty.
No, but I know nowadays. I know nowadays we joke and we refer to thirsty in just the physical aspect, but I feel like many people out there that more than the physical, they're emotionally thirsty. They're just so.
Yeah, I think that's what it is too. I agree. Although I will say, I like me a reel or two of these men. I'm like, this is what you do all day long. You just dance, and I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. Okay, entertain me.
Well, you can also think of like something Linda said. A lot of people are like predators. They're looking for those people that have those insecurities, that have that loneliness, that have all that. And as soon as they know your story, they kind of weaponize it to you and use it against you, which is sad.
Circling back to narcissists.
See, I was gonna say so true, because when I was in dating apps, I had more than one guy try to be like, oh, like poor you because divorced and and I'm like, I'm happy. My co-parenting relationship is good. Like, I don't need no tears this way because of that. Honestly, my mentality, like if I would have been like somebody that would have came out of a sexual abuse relationship, and I am a single mom and I don't have support, and this guy's love bombing me, offering me the world and stability, love, affection, financial support, all these different things.
You don't even know me. You don't even know if that's what I need or want, and you're like trying to vomit that out and trying to. I said in one of our very first podcast episode, on season 1, casting the net. Yeah.
Mhm.
Where they go fishing and it's like, let me just throw it out there and see what sticks and see what I catch, you know?
Mhm.
That is crazy. So have you ever seen a guy that you've dated on one of those pages? I know obviously you're not dating anymore, but Linda, have you ever seen?
After the fact, because when I started online dating, and actually the story how it all came about is I started online dating, I started a new job, and this girl that I work with, she goes, "So, have you joined, any of these pages? Because you gotta fact check." And I'm like, "Fact check? What are you talking about?" Well, I went in and I put it because they're private pages. I put in my request. It didn't get approved until like 6 months after the fact. Dating already, like dating somebody when I finally got approved. So after the fact, well, I guess let me go back. So I in the dating app, I started talking to this guy. We decided to go on a date, and he's I'm an alpha. You gotta know that I'm gonna be in charge and this and that. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, number one, I'm Latina, so this whole thing, masculine and feminine, like I grew up with that. Like that, it's very instilled in us the separation between the male role and the female role.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to throw it on my face. I know what it looks like. So one comment is enough, and I know what you want.
Yeah.
Let's see if this works out. No. The whole date. I feel like he just wanted to. But I believe it or not, we were vibing. So I'm like, man. To me, in my brain, they say paja mental. Like you're bullshitting yourself. You're not bullshitting me. You're telling all in my brain. All those comments, which again, as women, we're so stupid, right? The red flags, we just completely ignore them. We're so stupid. Anywho,
The drinks were good.
the drinks were good, yeah. Anywho, so life kept happening where we didn't really get to go out again. And I don't know what happened after. What happened afterwards? He stopped talking to me. I don't know. It didn't work out. I forgot.
Pretty sure you ghosted him.
That could have been it.
I wouldn't.
Pretty sure you ghosted him.
I wouldn't blame you.
I think you just blocked him. Like, I'm not feeling it.
I deserve that.
She did.
I
She done
deserve
moved
that comment.
on. She moved on.
I moved on. Sure, whatever. I don't know what happened with that one, but I do know that when I finally got approved, this guy gets posted almost every single week. Almost every single week, and every time he pops up, I'm like, I dodged that bullet. I'm like,
Yeah, wow. That's
Serial
crazy.
dater.
Yep.
serial dater.
Back then, when you were online dating, what were your like fact checks? What was your method of fact checking?
It was just a vibe. Like if I didn't feel comfortable or the conversation wasn't going good, I was out. Didn't have to walk me to the car. I was like, nope, I'm out. See ya, bye, and would not talk to them again. That was just it for me. It's just that feel. You get that feeling from people when they have either bring good energy or bad energy or just a certain word. Like, and I was picky too. So I would pick up on certain things. I'm like, but you told me, like in my head, you told me XYZ.
Yeah.
One thing, all he had to do was misconstrue something and I was done. I was out.
Because
See ya.
what's the truth, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's the truth now, or what you told me back then?
Yeah.
To try to get me to go out with you or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, that's the thing about online dating is like, just be honest, just be truthful about who you are, right? Because it's like, we're going to find out anyway. So when I was doing online dating, at this point, Linda had been accepted onto this social media page, and I would send her like, can you look this up? Can you look that up? Like, tell me about this person. And I think there was one that actually they were saying, I'm not sure whatever happened though to him. Now I can't remember, but there was one that they were saying that everybody was saying, no, he's a nice guy. Like, he pays on the dates. Which I think is like bare minimum, right? Paying on a date. But they were saying nice things about him, and I can't
Yeah.
remember who it was.
I'm trying to think that too. 'Cause
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. And there were quite a few that were not on there, which I guess was a green flag for me. But there was a couple that we saw, and you were like, oh, he's on there. And we were like, oh my God.
Mhm.
It was pretty bad. And I had you doing like recon. Yeah. Because there was this one lady, I remember for this one guy, there's this one lady, her friend or somebody, shit, I can't remember. Yeah, it was her friend that was in a long-term relationship with him, lived with him. And so she was like, yeah, if anybody wants to know the real story or wants the real tea,
Message me.
So I was like, message her.
We need to find out. We need to find out.
Message her
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've never been involved with those pages, but I'm glad that, you know,
Mhm.
because that kind of saved me a lot of time and effort
Energy.
and energy.
Now,
Yeah.
I will say this though. During my old job in Miami, I had this coworker, and he was having his bachelor's life, you know. And now you see him, and he's married, and he has a kid. I forgot what it's called, but it's something about proximity and timing, where like once a man is ready to date, when he's ready to take life seriously, if you're the woman within proximity, you know, that's what I'm saying. It's something about proximity and timing. Then the guy might become available to then date, right?
Yeah.
Now, if we're exposing this man, right, and then I don't know, John is on this page, and he was a serial dater, but now
He
he's
no
right.
longer is. Or
He's no
ready.
longer
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
or because let me tell you, my friend, when he started dating this girl, he was still in his. He's just like
His
thi-
whole phase.
in his whole face. It's just this one was able to like captivate him.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know what happened behind closed doors and what the relationship looks like, but you know, now they have a family. So that's the only thing that I will say. I think it's a little bit of a downfall for the app, and it's towards men. Is I feel like men, when they want to, you know, play around, they play around, but when they're ready to settle, they will. Kind of like the whole thing. If he wanted to, he will. I feel like it's a very similar scenario. Whether they're emotionally ready or mentally ready to date, that's a whole other story. Okay. But ready to commit to somebody, you know,
Yeah.
or they think they're ready to commit to somebody, they can be ready whenever they feel like it.
Yeah.
You know, and it could,
Yeah.
and if, you know, somebody like you or me could even forget about the dating app. We met somebody at the bar and we know this page exists, and you like him and you're vibing with him, and maybe in his brain and mind, he's ready to date now. But then you tell me, hey, Linda, can you check it out? And I go and I look, and we're like, and I'm like, hey, so 4 months ago, not even last week, 4 months ago, they said this. And 6 months ago, they said this. You're going to think about it. You're going to really like, oh, I don't know if this is who I will, you know.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of a downfall. But as a girl, I'm very thankful.
I will say, though, that in that scenario, I am the type of person, I think I've said it before on the podcast, that I go into things very open-heartedly. So I might think twice, or I might have it like in the back of my mind, or put that bit of information in my back pocket, which I always do. But then I'll go and I'll see for myself. Like, I'm glad for the information. Thank you. But I'm not going to make my life decisions based on what somebody else says. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's good information to have, I feel, but I'm also not going to stay away from things because everybody else is afraid. Because like I said, in that scenario, I would actually want to see for myself if this guy is actually ready. And I'll know right away, like you said, a vibe. You're sitting across from him, the kind of shit he's talking about and what he's doing. If he's, rubbernecking when every waitress passes by, and I'll be like, thanks for dinner. Bye. I'm out. Everybody was right about you, basically. But there are situations I feel where people deserve a chance, because you're right in the sense that men are, I've seen a quote somewhere, and I'm probably gonna fuck it up like always, because if I don't have it in front of me, then I can't remember it. But it says something to the effect of that men marry who's in front of them. who's right there in front of them.
We're talking about the same.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. So it's
Mhm.
like he wasn't ready back then. And then, the girls all say, I'm brokenhearted. Like, oh my God, he broke my heart. He wasn't the man I needed him to be. He didn't XYZ. He meets Joe. All of a sudden he's ready because he falls in love right then and there, and they get married within 6 months. Wait a minute, what's better about Joe than me? You know what I mean? It's like it's that type of mentality that we take on, but it's not us, it's them.
It's them.
He wasn't ready with me.
Right.
We didn't have the perfect connection or whatever, but they did. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, everybody has a person out there. I feel sometimes more than one. This will be conversation for another episode about soulmates, but yeah, I just feel like men are very visual creatures too. So what's right in front of them is what they're going to be dealing with, and they're not like trying to work on themselves for the next person. And also sometimes they leave that person. Like he might leave me, go for Joe, get married 6 months down the road, and then a year later they're divorced, and he's coming back looking for me because it's like, I thought I had everything with her, but now I realize that I had everything what I wanted with you. Yeah. So there's those situations too. Yeah. So anyway, and I went off on a tangent. I don't know what my point was. Okay, so with that said, take a little break here to bring in a little slice of advice. And I have our slice of advice today, which actually kind of goes good with what we were just talking about right now. So I said earlier that I don't leave my apartment, right? I don't leave my apartment, and I feel like I've done a lot of work on myself and that I'm ready for a serious relationship commitment, because it's been so long for me and because I'm at the level in my life that I'm at, right? So I feel like I'm super ready. So I watched this reel the other day, and man, the guy I felt like was just talking right to me. I think I shared it with you girls. I'm not 100% sure. But he basically said, and this is the slice of advice for you ladies out there that are like me, that don't fucking leave your place because I don't want to disturb my peace. Which reminds me, I was having a conversation with somebody last weekend about this. So I'll come back to that. But the slice of advice is, if you want to find a spouse, you have to get out of the house. If you don't want to be single, you have to get out there and mingle. I love it. Then he went on to say, oftentimes the biggest change we need to make is to be more social. Trying new places, having new experiences, just being out there, right? And we have to remember that this journey is not about finding a man. It's about finding yourself. So that is my advice, because this man spoke it to me on a reel.
That was actually pretty good. That's
It
kind
was
of
good.
That's kind of what Kevin has said to you
He
before
has
too.
said that to me. He has, yeah. Kevin's pretty he's pretty perceptive and actually has really good advice. What I was gonna say though, wait, shit, I forgot. Damn. Oh, I was having a conversation with somebody. I remembered. Squirrel came back. Having a conversation with somebody over the weekend on Friday. I think it was Friday night. Yeah, Friday night. Having a conversation with a gentleman at our local watering hole. And he was basically saying that he's done a lot of work on himself. He didn't take 7 years to do it. He's been like on a mini sabbatical for like a year, he said. But basically the same thing about not wanting to disturb his peace. He's like, and women find it odd that I don't want to be in a relationship. And I'm just like, well, this is my advice to you. And it was unsolicited because he didn't ask me. He did not ask me, but I gave it. I said, this is my advice to you. This is what I have come to understand. I don't want anybody to come and disturb my peace either. I'm very comfortable where I am. I'm very, like, my peace is everything to me. So I will cut people out of my life if I feel that my peace is being disturbed and I'm like being pulled into drama. But I've also come to the understanding that no matter who we allow in our lives, they're going to disturb our peace.
Yep.
Because you're not going to be alone.
Yeah.
You're going to have somebody there with you. So there's always going to be conversations, arguments, discussions. What do you want to eat tonight? You know, right now I don't have to ask anybody what they want to eat. You know, I'm alone. I'm by myself. I can eat whatever I want or not eat or whatever, you know. But so I was telling him, I'm like, now it's in the words of Bob Marley, which I can't say for verbatim because I don't remember. So we're not going to ever not get hurt. You just have to find this is what he said, to find the woman that is worth the pain.
Mm-hmm.
So for us women, find the man who's worth the pain, because nobody's perfect. And no matter what, unless you stay by yourself for the rest of your life, then someone is going to come in and disturb your peace because there's going to be another person there with you. And so for him, it was like a little aha moment. He was like, wow. Sound like touching one person at a time. I'm like, you're welcome.
Now watch her podcast.
I did
Learn some more.
Oh, he's following us, and he's on the podcast now, so he's good.
He's tuning in.
Yeah. Okay, so going back to the social media pages, do you girls think that it's a good idea now that we know that they're out there and stuff? Do you think it's a good idea to actually look up who you're dating before you go on these dates?
So initially, when I joined the group, I was just wanting to know if the guy was a cheater, right? Or not. Nothing else. But now that I've been on the page for a while, I'm like, the amount of like STDs that, like the people are like, hey, careful with this person or blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, back then.
That alone.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that alone to me, that's like
worth it.
It's a safety thing.
Uh-huh.
I definitely think if it's available to you, do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
I would say, like anything else, do it with caution and be healthy about it. Don't be obsessive over. Correct. Yeah. But I think it's good. Or the sexual abuse between the STDs and the sexual abuse stuff, or the touching minors. That they're putting that too. Like, I brought my boyfriend and touched my kid.
Yeah. I used the wrong
word.
To be careful. I didn't mean discretion. I meant to, oh my God.
Se te fue atrás.
It did, and it just came back to me, and now it's gone. Oh my God.
What are you saying?
Discernment. Oh my. Okay.
The wine.
That's 'cause 50.
The bubbles.
That's 50.
It's 'cause 50.
That's 50. If you guys are back on the dating scene, then seeing as you girls think that it's a good idea, these sites or these pages are good. They bring value to the dating world, right? Do you think that if you were back on the dating scene, that looking up and whatever information you saw in there, would you base your decision on going out with this person on those pages?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely influence. At least, like you said, keep the information in my back pocket to...
Yeah, I'd definitely be more cautious, and ask more questions.
Yeah.
And make sure that it's not in an intimate place, but a very public place where I know, for safety purposes, I can get to my car. There's where I would have all my boundaries. I think that would be a great tool for me to be able to kind of like make a plan just in case,
You're saying all the right things.
Tip number one.
Yeah. Turn your location on and share it with a friend.
Yeah.
Always. I actually have always done that ever since I got back on the dating scene. Yeah. My cousin doesn't let me go anywhere without telling her, where are you? Send me your location. or with somebody, she'll always say, somebody, like,
She'll be like, did you get Yvette's? She'll sidebar Yvette and be like, did you get Yvette's location? I was like, yes, I have it. If I don't have it, Linda has it. One of us has it. Trust me.
One of us
has it.
Yes, very true. Now, how do you feel about it, Yvette?
Like I said earlier, I'm on the fence about it because I feel like they provide good information, but I know women, and I'm not trying to like bash women here, but I am a woman myself. We can get very
catty,
and we're deceitful, and we are conniving, and if we really want to hurt somebody's reputation,
I was going to say we're resentful.
Yes, we're going to jump on there because again, I just gave the example of like, if it wasn't working with me, it might work with her. You know what I'm saying? Or with you. So why am I going to block this guy's like opportunity to meet a good woman, that could bring out the best in him, because obviously I didn't, you know what I mean? So, but again, I view things very different. I'm always a lone wolf in every situation. So
No, but like I put it this way, I feel guilty, right? And part of me feels guilty because I feel like there was a few guys that, even though I got accepted months later, I could have posted. Like the guy that was rubbernecking every single girl coming around her. Not only did he do that, but then he looked at me and my curly hair and was like, "Did you even brush your hair?" Like,
wow,
I have curly hair. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, you're a complete asshole. Like, I should have posted him. So I feel guilty because I didn't warn the other ladies out there. But because I'm not trying to hurt his reputation at the same time, I didn't want to put anything on there,
Yeah.
But
oh, he's a true asshole.
he was.
He was a true asshole. So
Anyhow, but we have, at least momentarily, we have agreed that you no longer, at least in the time being, want to get back on the dating apps, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Okay. So
Probably forever. I mean, I never say never, but
So
yeah.
Hypothetically, okay, I can speak. April 11th.
Wait. Hold on. Thought. My glass. I don't know if everybody can see this. Can they see it? The
Yeah.
light is like.
Yeah.
It says, "I'm not slurring my words. I'm talking in cursive." So
That's
right now
right.
she's talking in cursive.
That's me. That's me. So on April 11th at Brunch House,
Yes.
we're having a good time, and you meet this cute guy.
Yeah.
With the beard, strong, smells
Beautiful.
good,
He has to smell good.
beautiful smile.
Big hands.
Okay, big hands. That's right.
Yeah.
tall.
Green eyes. Yes. Wow, he's imaginary. Right? So, hey,
Yes. You can have
I'm
whatever you
imagining
want, girl.
everything.
Hey,
Yes.
listeners, if you have any friends,
Would you tell me, hey, I met John today? See if you can find him. Or would you first wait a couple interactions before you ask me to look it up?
To be honest with you, that wouldn't even cross my mind to ask you. Not if somebody I met in person. Because
Really?
again, it would be that situation where I meet people open-heartedly. You're going to show me who you are, because I'm the type of person that will allow you to be who you are. I'm not superficial. I will ask you, I'll try to get to know you as a person from the get-go. I'm not, oh yeah, let's pretend like this and that, whatever, and then jump into that. I'm too old for that shit. Like I'm done with the bullshit. I just go in, and I go right in. Yeah, I do. And now I'm cautious, but I'm not, I don't like just stick my toe in, both feet are in, at least to my ankles. I'm in, I'm here. Hi.
not to her neck, to her ankles.
No. But, so
Maybe her waist.
So,
Sorry.
everybody calm down.
That's a good point, Linda. That's a good point.
Oh my God. She would like Okay. So my point being that I think I make people feel comfortable enough to be themselves from the get-go.
That's true. That people put their guard down around
And
you.
they do. So it's like, so I'm going to see their true colors right away. And if I don't, then shame on me, because, I went in fucking head first instead of feet first, And so I probably, if it was somebody that I met in person, I probably wouldn't even ask you to, it wouldn't even dawn on me to ask you, look them up on the social medias, on that page, whatever. But, now if I was jumping back into online dating, then yes,
Heck yeah.
I would.
So organically, no.
Yeah.
Online dating, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably would.
It's okay. I'm still going to check.
I was gonna say, do you not know who you're
Well,
talking
actually, there was somebody that I went out on a date with that I had already been out on a date with a couple of times, and then she looked him up, and then she didn't find anything on him or whatever. But yeah, so she was like, I just want you to know.
I checked.
I know you didn't ask me, but I checked for you, and he's not on there, so good. And I'm like, oh, phew, thank God. Thank God, because he was cool. I liked him. That is too funny. Okay, I think right now we are going to jump into our what the fuck moment.
Oh my gosh, I'm actually excited in a creepy way.
Oh no.
Because to me, it was such a what the fuck moment. So, I want to show you guys one of KFC's new commercials.
Oh my gosh, okay.
So I guess right now you guys are just gonna watch the reaction, and then we can talk about it because it blew my mind. It's just like 2.5 minutes because again, just a commercial. Can't even put my own password in. What's happening?
WTF.
Oh, 2 minutes long. Okay.
That's a long commercial. Commercials are 15 seconds, no? It's the woods. The guy walking in the woods. That one is the
Rooster.
oil. Who's that?
Is that the rooster?
I think the rooster's just watching at this point. What the fuck am we watching?
This is why it's a what the fuck moment, guys.
There's the
What?
golden egg.
In the heebie-jeebies.
They're doing like a mating dance. I don't know. What is this?
With an egg?
With an egg, yeah.
A worship dance? I don't know.
No, there's a lake.
Is it chicken broth?
It is. It's brown. Oh, what are we watching? Oh, my brain is breaking.
What? Is that grease?
It's Grease. She's frying him. It's a chicken tender. Believe in chicken.
What
the fuck?
in the hell?
So,
That is dark.
it is very dark. And here's my thing. I think they're letting us know publicly how we're eating human remains.
Bingo. I think that's exactly what it
That's
is.
it.
I'll never eat again.
Isn't that crazy? They're letting us know bluntly
Yeah.
what's happening. So it's very weird,
We're
but
gonna edit it
it's
in.
like a tribe. It's weird. There's this, what it seems like this person out of place, right? Like he's lost, right? And then they bring him to what you would think almost looks like a baptism. Like they're putting him underwater. I don't know.
The girl, though.
The-
The girl. There's a girl.
There's a girl that's in charge
that's kind of luring him into
into this
lake.
into this gravy.
And it's gravy.
It's
It's
gravy.
like grease. It's grease.
It's a grease
It's-
pan.
It's
yeah.
a grease pit.
And
and
she's
then-
carrying him.
And then she carries him. You're right. Like
Mhm.
I'm sure everything has a symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
And then she dips him in, and then when she brings him out, he's a fried chicken.
he's a chicken tender.
He's a chicken
Or drumstick.
Yeah.
drumstick, and then he's believing chicken, and it's like to me, it's like believe it. Will believe that you're freaking eating human remains.
I'm becoming a vegetarian as of this very
Lord
moment.
have mercy. Lord
And that
have
is our
mercy.
what the fuck moment. This episode.
Ugh.
This one has my mind spinning. I'm probably gonna have dreams
Well,
about
hold
this
on,
one.
hold on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to become a vegan, but I'm going to make sure that when I go purchase something, it's actually what I'm purchasing.
So
And I'm not eating.
I wanna say something though. Okay, this morning I had eggs and bacon. You know, as I'm eating my bacon, I swear to you, I feel like I'm never eating bacon again. Which is probably a lie because I love bacon. But I'm like iffy right now. And then just watching that is like breaking my brain. But when I was eating it, I broke off a piece because I like mine crispy. So I broke off a piece and I'm like looking at it and I'm like, it doesn't even look like bacon. Like it doesn't look like, and my brain was like trying to tell me like, don't eat it, don't eat it. And I was putting it in my mouth and I took a little bite and it just tasted different. It almost tasted like plastic to me. And so I was like, look, it's making my tummy like turn right now. I was just kind of like looking at my food. I'm like, where am I? I felt like I was out of my body a little bit. And I was like, where am I right now? Like, and I'm looking at, and I couldn't eat it. And I had like, I think I made myself 4 strips of bacon and I was on the second one. So I still had like 2 and maybe like less than half of the third one, whatever, left, and I just pushed them aside and I was like, and I'm taking a bite of I had a bagel too and some eggs. And so I'm taking a bite of my bagel and I'm like, is this even bread? Like, is this even real? Like, what am I'm like, okay, let me eat my eggs. And I didn't think anything about my eggs, but you never know. Like, look at that fucking egg. What was that whole thing? I feel like I'm going to dream about this shit. This is so weird.
So weird.
And I want to put it out there that she did not show us this video ahead of time. This is like live reaction. So this is weird. Man, talk about dark. That was weird.
That was dark.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord. Whew.
And it's like the people coming from the top and jumping off. And the way that it starts is like, it's like, okay. Because remember, she was standing and then it's like the...
Well, first she was a chicken.
First she was a chicken.
Yeah, she was a rooster.
She was a rooster.
Yeah, I don't
Which
know.
is weird because roosters are guys or males, whatever. But still, she was a chicken, a hen. Maybe it was a hen and we thought it was a rooster. I don't know, but she was an
animal.
Oh God!
But then this vest, as I'm trying to say, just flew up, and she had to. What did the vest have anything to do? She was gonna drown in the. I don't know.
I think it gave her power or something. I don't know, like to lure him
again.
Because he was just following.
I'm sure
her.
there's a lot of symbolism behind this nonsense, but I remember watching it. I'm like, first of all, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't had KFC in a very long time.
Yeah, I haven't either.
There's something about it that I
used to love it.
Me too.
Me too. A long time ago. Yeah.
Not just that, but like especially when you have an large family, buy a bucket and figure it out.
We used to do that. Yeah. When I was.
It's convenient, you know. And I haven't done that, but now I saw that and I'm like, I want to eat it even less. I'm like.
I'll tell you what, when I stopped eating McDonald's, which is so weird because like there's a couple of nights where I've been like craving McDonald's, which is weird. But when I stopped eating McDonald's was a few years ago when I found out that they were like in the meat and the whatever, the chicken, that it was like human remains that they were processing. And I think it's where they're making this. And then also there was a story, and not to get like all like controversial and like, conspiracy theory here, but they do have, and they were pushing, I've seen, I want to say it was Gwyneth Paltrow, where they were pushing for us to eat bugs as protein. Mm-hmm. And I know in some cultures, in some countries, it's actually like a delicacy. Even in Mexico, they have,
don't they eat
the crickets. I've had them. Crickets. I've had the Mexican crickets. I've had a few, but I can't get past the texture because, the antlers. No, let's not, please.
Yeah, no.
But they have these facilities up in Canada where they literally grind all these different bugs.
Listen, I've eaten cookies made out of ants because ants have a lot of protein. And they say you break off their heads or whatever, and if you eat them or whatever, you could survive because they have a lot of protein, high level of protein. So,
okay.
but this cookies, you couldn't even taste the animal. But anyhow,
I feel like
we just went completely left.
Sorry, guys. It's just that's how I felt when I watched that video, though. I could not believe it, and I'm like, you know what?
Great for what the fuck?
Yes, I'm like, this is beyond what the fuck. This is like what
the fuck? Holy shit balls!
Oh my god!
I'll be having nightmares tonight.
I was just gonna say, I think I might have dreams about this tonight. Oh Lord, have mercy! Wow. You guys will see, and
we'll leave the link
put it in,
or something.
Leave the link. Yeah, we will. We definitely. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
We'll leave the link in there. Okay. So getting back to our topic.
Thank God.
Cleanse the brain. Cleanse the brain. Whew, what's up? Let's go back to, let's look up maybe some posts and discuss. We're not going to say which social media pages because obviously, these are,
Private.
especially this one, they're private. It's a private group. You have to be accepted. They have to vet you. So yeah, but I'm sure there's others out there. There's a lot of them out there from what I hear.
Mhm.
I talked to one of my friends and he told me the same thing, that he's like, oh yeah, they have that page. And he said one of his friends was posted on there and it ruined his, I don't know if it ruined his job, but like it ruined his life in some kind of way. So we do have to be careful with these, but there are some crazy posts,
Yeah.
There's some crazy men out there.
So I had seen earlier a post. Okay, first of all, so I have this page on silent, since I'm not dating. And plus, it was becoming so dramatic. There was so much going on. I put it on silent. But funny enough, the post that I was talking or commenting to you ladies earlier about this guy that, he's a narcissist and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, somebody reposted the post and said, I was afraid.
He's cute, by the way.
Yeah, he is cute. But this person is like, because obviously you can post anonymously. We know this. But if you're going to comment on a post, you cannot become anonymous. Your name is going to show. So they wanted to take a screenshot of the post and then they reposted and say, hey, I didn't want to say anything because, again, this is the other issue that women are dealing with, is that when they go and they expose this man, then this man wants to
there's backlash.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sue you. You're damaging, blemishing my reputation, all these different things.
Defamation and slander.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so like this one is like, okay, please be careful with this man. He has a long history of violence and abuse with women. Cheating is the least of your worries. Do a background check and you can find out for yourself.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me see. There's one more. This is the only thing I hate about this. It just disappears. Okay. This is one thing that I will say I like about this page, okay? Some of the questions that they put up here. Oh my gosh. How would you go about finding out someone if they don't have they wrote it wrong. So any social medias, or at least they say they don't. Is there any way to get any information via numbers? And I'll be honest, and we've talked about this, right? I have mixed feelings about putting information out there because I'm like, at the end of the day, this is here for women to be protected, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll put it out there. Who cares? If you're going to date somebody, and I learned this through this page, or you're trying to figure out information and they don't have social media, you grab their phone number, you put it on Cash App or Venmo, and you'll be able to see, especially on Venmo. On Venmo, you can see which recent transactions they've had.
Yeah.
Or who they've sent money to, or to do some...
Like little women are FBI agents.
Yes.
I just want to say.
Yes. Yeah, because then you're like,
Detectives, baby.
they pay somebody. They went out this weekend. Because bottom line, that's honestly the reason why these pages were created, which was to catch
cheating
and expose the cheaters.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
There was one that you were showing us earlier.
I'm going to. So
Like,
this
oh,
girl,
that's so good.
I know. So this girl posted, right? It obviously seems that they're being messaging on Bumble or whatnot, right? So she writes, "Is there anything you want to know?" And he goes, "I don't have any questions. It's not a checklist type of thing, right?" And then I'm gonna do whatever I want, given when the time occurs, is what he says. And then she goes, "I'm speechless." And he goes, "Why?" "Well, I've never had someone tell me they're gonna do whatever they want." And then he goes, Well, most men figure they will have. I figure most men will have this mindset. Everything is a natural. We wake up with a hard dick, and it's an external girthy thing. Women, on the other side, on the other hand, they're soft and have internal stimulation. Women are meant to receive, and men, well, they're natural suppliers. It's
Not wrong.
He's not wrong. Up to that point, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
And going back to your comment from earlier, just be honest.
Right.
Tell me where your mind's at. Even if it is all you're trying to do is get laid, tell me. So at least I know what this is.
Yeah.
Don't sugarcoat me and try
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
entice me into something that is not.
Just say it a little bit more tastefully, please.
Yes. But then he goes, it's a woman's job to take it and drain her man's nuts daily. If she does that, there won't be an urge to cheat or even talk to another woman. Oh my gosh.
Hey, some women give it to their men all the time, and they still go
And they
and
still
cheat.
cheat. Yeah, that's true.
That's very true. I feel like cheating is more about the man or the woman, because women cheat too. Let's be real. I think it's more about what they're lacking
Mhm.
and what they're not, like maybe their insecurities or just what they're lacking from their
Mhm.
partner. You know what I'm saying? Or in the relationship or whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to do with the other person. But yeah, so I mean, all these beautiful celebrities that get cheated on all the time.
All the time.
It's about
It doesn't matter.
the person that is doing the action.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Going back to the post,
Yeah.
maybe you will find that, okay, well, at least he's telling me the truth.
Yeah.
You will find his comment
Offensive.
offensive,
Yeah.
right? You were saying earlier it was a red flag for you.
Yeah,
right?
it was super aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about someone being straight up, but just like
Soften it up a little
yeah,
bit.
just be a little bit more gentle. Just say, hey, I just want to get laid. I'm here to just have some
fun.
companionship.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that than something like that.
No, but I do agree with you. Isn't it? I'm gonna take a moment and stop here and say, isn't it crazy how perspective just changes how you see everything? Like, I feel like when I read that post before I read it to you guys, I had your perspective where I was like, well, at least he's laid down. But this girl was posting a picture saying, warning, 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 right? And to me, I was like, well, if you
He's
don't,
telling you what
yeah,
he
if
wants,
you don't want to
and-
give it
yeah,
up,
then
just
don't.
move on, right?
Exactly.
But then the
Exactly.
moment she said that, I started dissecting into the message, and I'm like, whoa, women are meant to take it, and I'm like, whoa, maybe this is aggressive because again,
I think he meant take advantage of it and, use it to your advantage, basically.
But it's whatever that person
Yeah.
says.
Yes, he's being blunt. I wouldn't call it aggressive. I feel like he's being blunt. He's being blunt and he's just basically not sugarcoating or he's not polished, right? So
Mhm.
he's just basically saying, listen, if you're not taking care of my needs, then I'm going to go get it somewhere else. He's basically saying that to her, right?
yeah,
And telling her like, I need it every day, maybe several times a day. I don't know. He's literally telling her what he needs or wants. That doesn't mean that he's wrong. It doesn't mean that he's an asshole or whatever. Maybe he didn't say it in the nicest way, but that doesn't mean that he's like telling her, this is what you're going to do, bitch, and blah, 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 blah. He's not being aggressive.
I disagree.
I don't
I
see
think
it that
that's
way.
very distasteful and aggressive. And if it was
Distasteful is
me,
different from aggressive, though.
and no,
That's why I
it's,
said.
I think it's all of that, and I would be concerned
for the safety.
for my safety.
Well,
too.
that's what she posted.
Yeah,
him.
and that's why I'm saying
That's what she
though,
posted him.
That's what I'm saying though, is like she obviously it didn't work for her. It didn't, that's not what she's looking for. So all she had to do was be like, okay, well, nice meeting you, whatever, like have a good life.
Right.
And
But
walk away.
in
You know
my
what I'm saying?
brain, when I read this, it reminded me of I'm the alpha and get my heart. They can just take it,
He's a Viking. That one's a Viking.
And when we watch the show Vikings, that's literally what they do. Come here, woman. And they take their women and they fucking
We're like, woo.
yeah, and there we are like, oh my God. And yeah, we're gonna call this guy like aggressive. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's like it's a double standard because he was literally just telling her this is, and was he an asshole about it? Was he distasteful? Could he have said it in a better way? Yeah, all of those things, yes. She didn't have to talk to him anymore though.
She didn't. She just forewarned everybody else.
But again, this is what I'm saying. Like somebody else, there might be another alpha woman or female that might be like, you know what? All right, yeah. Fuck yeah. You know why? Because I need to get fucked every fucking morning and every fucking night. And this guy is gonna fucking do it for me.
That's
Because
true.
this is what he needs. This is what I need. We're a match. And that's it. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
I'm more aggressive than him, or I'm in my alpha too. So we're gonna be right there. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. I'm
Yeah.
saying.
But it's true. It's true.
I'm playing devil's advocate here.
No, it's true because I actually have a friend which it surprises me because she's what I will consider a strong alpha woman. Like
Yeah.
she's and again I work in landscaping. She worked in the pool side. We work with men, so we both have strong. We have to make our name known where we work,
Yeah.
right? And after getting to know her, she told me she likes to be what's it called?
Submissive.
Submissive.
Yeah.
In bed.
So do I.
And I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah. You know, like tell me what to do. I'll bow my head. I'll
Okay, I don't go
you know,
I don't go that
okay,
far. I don't go that far.
that's what I'm talking. I'm talking about role play.
Yeah.
Role play.
Yeah, she's on some other stuff.
I don't know
She's
what that's.
on Christian Grey.
Yes, correct. When I said yes, sir, yeah, you know, type of, you know, and I'm like, what the hell are you? I'm like, since when did you like to? I'm like, I'll smack a guy before he tells me what to do in bed.
I'll tell you my reasoning. I don't know her reasoning.
Yeah.
Probably similar though. I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
I'm very assertive, very dominant. I take control. I'm very type A in my life, my everyday life. So behind closed doors, I don't want to have to be telling you what to do and how to please me. And, you know, I just want you to take me, just ravage me.
Yeah.
You want to take me from behind, fucking flip my ass over. And
You
you know.
want to be in your feminine.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm the same way because I'm
just like,
I'm a doer, mover, and shaker.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want to be that
Yeah.
way when I'm in the.
But I
I
would
don't
say,
want to be the boss in the bedroom. If I am,
based
then you're
on
my
what you're
bitch.
describing, if she was here, I think she would say, I agree. That's the reason why she.
And so I understand her plight
Mhm.
because it's literally like you said, she has to make a name for herself. She has to kind of play with the big dogs. you
Not
know,
just that,
out
but
in-
she's a manager. She has to tell a bunch of guys what to do.
Yeah.
You know, she has to boss around all the time.
Yep. And
So-
be stern and firm.
correct.
And make sure that everybody's doing what she needs them to do. You know, and telling them what to do. She's in control. So then behind closed doors, I can see why she would want Mr. Gray to freaking smack her.
So what I'm saying is, you know, you're right. Somebody might look at that message and be like, "Ooh,
And maybe it
Speaking
is,
daddy,
maybe
you know?
it is why I don't really take much offense to that. I mean,
Yeah.
was he offensive to her? Yeah, I totally see that. Of course,
yeah."
I see that. He wasn't for her for sure. Now, did that deserve for him to be on that page? I'm not so sure.
Right.
I'm not so sure.
I agree. I
Oh.
do appreciate the fact that she took a screenshot of the conversation and posted it, even though some may disagree because it's
So
personal.
that people can make their own mind.
But people can make
Yeah,
their own mindset
you're
because
right.
she could have been like, here's a picture. He's a narcissist. He's a womanizer, whatever she wants to come up and say.
Yeah.
And then we will have to take her word for it.
yeah.
Where, anyhow.
If you want whips and chains, he's your man.
All he's saying is drain my balls every morning.
Aggressively drain my balls.
Hey, some people like both balls sucked at the same time.
Episode 4.
I'm just going to drink my drink.
Like Joanna said, episode 4. Oh my god, that's so funny. Anyway, okay, so we thought this one was gonna be a short one. I told the girls, I don't know. But we are at our words of wisdom point. So Miss Joanna has our words of wisdom.
Our words of wisdom for today is: in a race between a lion and a deer, Many times the deer wins because the lion runs for food and the deer runs for life. Remember, purpose is more important than your need.
Okay.
And the author is unknown, but it's from Arts of Poets on
Nice.
Facebook.
Nice. I like that one. I do like it.
When you have a purpose, do what you need to do to get shit done.
Mm-hmm.
It's what's important to you that matters.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. Thanks so much, guys.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank
on
you.
another
Thank you.
episode of Chats con Sabor.
Bye.
Adiós, amigos.